The general shape of a session goes through various phases. Okay. We have the beginning. We have the development. It's like a piece of music. You have a statement of the theme, the beginning. Then that gets developed. And during the development stage, all kinds of things can happen. Experiments, different things. The session with the piano, getting underneath the piano, all kinds of experiential experiences can occur. During the beginning stage, okay, the most important elements in the beginning is the awareness of the client, of what's going on. They begin to experience themselves. They begin to feel a sensory awakening, an awareness of what's happening. And their rational mind is still struggling to be counted in. And as the beginning starts to become more involved in the awareness, the pure awareness part, the rational mind, neocortex, gets very frustrated and decides to take a nap. And the limbic system, reptilian system, cheer, and they come out front. And the session begins to happen on another level. And that's all happening, not exactly, you can't do it in a box. It happens in a very fluid way, from the beginning awareness to the development. And in the development part, you have all the experiments and all the things we do. Now, the awareness continues through the experiments. That's still going on, okay? Then we enter another phase, and that's an interesting phase. And that's after the development and the experiments, the person starts to piece things together, to integrate them, without explanations, just to have a feeling like, yeah, that fits. The rational mind's beginning to wake up. It goes, something's happening here. And there's a slight seduction of wanting to get into the reasons then, you know, to get into why this is happening. And you kind of take a deep breath and hang out with that. Because that's a very important integration place where they begin to, the clients begin to integrate on whatever level they integrate. They begin to integrate what's been happening. This could be nonverbal. They could be integrating silently and not saying anything. And that's okay. In fact, that's very powerful. Sometimes you give someone a session and you think, God, in supervision, I didn't do very much. They come back next week. You don't know the dreams I had, and this happened, and that happened, and it's amazing what happens. And, you know, it was no big, quote, big deal. You know, 'cause you're supposed to have major breakthroughs all the time. This was not a breakthrough, so. Okay, so that's the integrative quality. And that goes back to awareness, experiment, integration, awareness, experiment. It's very fluid. All right. Then you prepare a client for re-entry, meaning you're coming to the coda, to the closing of the session. You don't have to be like Beethoven and do the last 3 chords 20 times. You know, you think it's finished and he's still doing 5-1, 5-1, and goes on and on. Or Wagner, where it's much more sexy. He gets to a climax and he doesn't get there, he goes back again. And he gets to the climax and then goes back again. And by the 3rd time, you're very tired. Remember at music school, okay, Richard, get there already, we're tired of this stuff. And the chords, we had to study the chords and write like him. It was exhausting. I mean, but it is really an experience to go through this place where you're coming to an integration and a coming out of it into re-entry, either in the room, the group, me. When you're one-to-one, it'll be the room that you and your client are in, and it'll be you and the client. Here it'll be all of us, like yesterday, and the session was Carol. So in her session, Rob went through all those phases. If you look at that session, you will be able to analyze all the phases I just described now. Because that's the way it happens in the arts and in life. Okay? So that's the general meta scheme. And I'll keep referring to this general framework about a session, and then we'll go in and noodle around with the details and then come back to the bigger one. So I'm giving you a big picture now. It's just a big picture to have fun with. And as we fill in the big picture with these little parts, they'll fit, because the gestalt is bigger than all the parts. So we're both teaching you the parts, the little parts, but I also want you to get the big picture. So it makes more sense, because that's how you learn. We found out that you learn in a different way when you have a bigger picture, a sense of the whole. Okay. So let's begin with the awareness. Heather, can you share with me what you're aware of right now? You just listened to a whole little lecturette.
I'm aware of myself sitting here and the pain I feel right up my tailbone.
Okay, so you're aware of sitting on the table, sitting here, and you're aware of your tailbone hurting. So I could not have seen her tailbone hurting, so that's internal. She had to say that to me. So I'm going to step back and tell you what I was aware of. I was aware of I observed your feet moving, and I observed how the left one, and how attentive and quiet you were as I gave that whole experience, and when your right hand over the left. Okay. Now I'm going to go on a little imaging trip. You just gave me information of how your tailbone hurts. This is me, Ilana. I'm just giving you my process. Here's someone whose tailbone hurts her like a lot, and she's sitting there and listening to this long lecture. And I would never know by your face that you are in pain. I know now because you told me. So and I see your eyes tear up. So there's a space between how you feel and what you let me know. Do you all get what just happened here? So I'm part of that. This is relational. So I got a picture of you as someone, well, you have a high threshold of pain. I'm checking it out. Is that true?
Yeah.
Coinky dinky, it's true. She can put up with a lot of pain, and she did with this. Okay. So this is something that I might, if Heather and I were ongoing, I might share that with her at 7th, 8th, 9th session. But if it were the first time, it's something I just got, and I kind of put it away. Because I don't know, I don't want to get into a mind game with her about it. Because it was my imagining, my interpretation of her, and I don't want to go there. I want to stay with her, but I wanted you to hear what happens to me when I hear that she was in a lot of pain. So, will you be in pain if you lay down on your back or your side? How would you like, which is the least amount of pain for you to lie down?
On my side.
On your side. So would you choose a side to lie down on? And would you lie down? I invite you to lie down on the side that will give you the least amount of pain. Okay. Would you like a towel or something under your head, Heather?
Yes, please.
Yes. We have a supply, a whole supply, marvelous supply of Geneva Park towels. Pillows, did they give us the pillows too? Yeah, okay. Let's see. A little bit more. There you go. How's that?
That's good.
Yes? Yes.
Yeah.
What was the message that I gave her just now? I'm interested. You have pain. Now, you want to go into exaggerate the pain? We don't have to exaggerate it. She's got it. All right? So the next step was, I invite her to choose her position that she can be aware and not be overtaken by the pain. Because when pain gets to be too much, there's not much else you can deal with. All right? So the comfort level is such that she can tolerate. Is that correct?
Yeah.
On the side.
Yeah.
Had I said, please lie down on your back, that might have exaggerated the pain and been difficult. So it's neat that you've been working on your side because this is perfect. The timing is just couldn't be more perfect. The other thing that's interesting is I'm not going to go near her pelvis or her tailbone because that's what hurts. Talking about psychological and physical resistances. When you go right up against them, they get more. Because you're going to go to the place that hurts right away, it's going to be a different kind of experience. The way painful places learn to heal is by finding another place that doesn't hurt as much. And they say, oh, okay, another place doesn't hurt. Let's see what that feels like. What does not having pain feel like? Okay? So at the beginning, I'm not going to go to the painful place for Heather. Okay. So we'll find that. Well, here are some of the verbal expressions that are going to support Heather staying in her experience. Would be, what are you aware of now, right now, Heather?
I'm aware of how comfortable my left side is, but how my right side and right through my tailbone, I feel this, like almost like a hole, like there's like something sticking into it.
Okay, so your whole right side. Now, was that a laugh? She's just laughing. I had to check out. Sometimes laughing and sobbing. Physical. Okay, so you laugh. You remember when you started to laugh? When you said what?
I just got an image of like a fence post sticking at me.
You got an image of a fence post sticking up you. Okay. Now, when someone gives you an image like that, they're going to go run with it the way they run with it. You go with it too and see what, fence posts can be small fence posts, there can be big ones on farms.
This one's a big one.
This is a big one. And it's going right through you?
Well, at the moment it's just kind of up to here.
So it's going up your pelvis.
But my feet are off the ground. And I really need to get off of it.
Your feet are off the ground and you'd like to get off of it. So it's stuck in you. And your feet are off the ground. Okay. All right. I see you mean to get off of it, so it's in you and you are also sitting on it. Yes?
Yeah.
All right, so what happened to me there, everybody, is when I thought of that, she said, yes, she's sitting on the pain. She's sitting on it. Okay, whatever is poking into her, she's also got a part in it. She's sitting on it. Okay, we don't know if she can. She said, "I mean to get off of it." Okay. So, what happens when you sit on this?
It hurts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. When they say it hurts, I want you to experiment. To ask them to gently say, "Could you say that again? I'm sitting on it and I hurt." I hurt. Try that, Heather.
I'm sitting on it and I hurt.
Say that again. I hurt.
I hurt.
Let yourself experience your hurt. This is very important because people tend to disassociate from their body. They say, it hurts, it's doing this, it's doing that. And I hurt really shifts things around because you are your body. So it's not it hurts. So you're sitting on this fence post and you hurt.
I hurt.
Okay, willing to do an experiment? Yes. Okay. Would you please talk to this fence post?
Fence post.
Yes.
I need to leave you.
Say that again.
I need to leave you.
I need to leave you. Okay. And what does the fence post say back?
It says, if you try to move, I'm going to poke into you further.
Nice fence post. If you try to move or get off of me, I'm going to what? What am I going to do?
Poke into me further.
I'm going to poke into you further. Okay. Okay. So what do you say back to the fence post when it says, you try to get off of me, I'm going to poke into you further? So it's presenting you a dilemma. You want to get off of it, and it says, you try to get off of me, and I'm going to hurt you more.
Yeah. I'm going to make you more stuck.
I'm going to make you more stuck. So without thinking too much, we just start with I'm stuck and just add anything that comes to you. Heather, I'm stuck.
I'm stuck.
I'm stuck about, I'm stuck with, I'm stuck.
I'm stuck. I'm stuck where I am. I'm stuck where I don't want to be.
I'm stuck where I don't want to be. And where don't you want to be? Just share with us, where don't you want to be?
I don't want to be at home.
I don't want to be at home.
I don't want to be at home.
Okay. So let yourself have that feeling. Yeah. Just let yourself cry. I don't want to be at home. Yeah. 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 All the sadness, whatever's going on, just let that. Just let that. I'm stuck at home and I don't want to be there.
I'm stuck at home. And I don't want to be there.
Yeah. If you need one.
Thank you.
And the dilemma is, if you want to get out, it may be more painful. Mhm.
My dilemma is that
You tell me what your dilemma is.
I want to make changes in my life.
I want to make changes in my life.
I have 3 kids. I have 3 boys. And it's not them I want to leave.
No. Say that again, Heather. It's not you boys I want to leave.
It's not my boys I want to leave.
No. Who do you want to leave?
I want to leave my husband.
Okay. So that's okay to voice that gently today. Just the beginning, really finding out how painful that is. How painful being stuck is. Yeah. So you're in this place right now where you've become aware of how painful it is for you to be at home.
Yeah.
And how painful it is for you to be with your husband.
Yeah.
And all the problems that this brings up for you. In your journey, in your path.
Yeah.
And your body says, I hurt. It's as if something is sticking in me.
I hurt. Yeah. I hurt. The more I stay, the more I hurt.
Yeah. The more I stay on this.
Yeah.
And in this place, the more I hurt.
Yeah.
If you could do anything you wanted at this time in your life, how would you change this scene that you are in?
If I could do anything I wanted,
You could change the scene any way you wanted.
I would find something that would.
You would find what?
Something that would cure my children's neurology.
Okay, you would find, and take the word something, put anything you want in there. You would find what? A blue liquid,
I would find a remedy.
you would find a remedy for the children,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, describe this remedy to me. You have found the remedy for your children. Describe this remedy. What does it look like, and what is it?
They wouldn't have to go to school. They would have a different kind of way of learning. And they could.
The remedy is you would create a whole different curriculum and way of learning.
Yes.
They wouldn't be stuck in school and have to learn in school.
Yeah, not in the way that they're supposed to be learning.
Not in the way they're supposed to be, quotes, they should be learning.
And they would, all day long, they would be allowed to express their feelings. And it would be safe.
And all day long in this new school started by Heather, Heather has begun a new school. And in this new school, children like your sons would be allowed to express their feelings all day long, right?
Yeah.
What else could they do in your school?
There would be people around them who would be in tune with their specialness and their gifts. And
There'd be people in the school, teachers and people that would be tuned into their gifts and not their problems. And these are all the things that are possible for your boys. Because they have a mother like you who sees and knows and smells and feels in every bone in her body that these are the things about her boys that she knows.
in every bone of my body.
In every bone in your body. You know this in every bone in your body.
Yeah, every bone in my body feels that.
Every bone in my body. I know that these three boys have all these qualities.
Yes.
I know this. Say that again. I know this. Every bone in my body. Every bone in my body.
I know this in every bone in my body.
Yeah. Good. Again, I know this. I know this in every bone in my body.
I know this in every bone in my body.
I'm not stuck about this.
I'm
Right?
not stuck about this.
No, I know this.
I know this.
Right?
I know this.
Yeah. You're not stuck about this. You have definite ideas and feelings about your three boys.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Experience that again, that you are not stuck about this.
I am not stuck about this.
Mm-mm. I know. I know about my three boys.
I know about my three boys.
Nobody can tell me any different.
Nobody can tell me any
They
different.
try, but it's no use.
They try, but it's no use.
That's right. I know.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of energy, huh? Lots of energy streaming
Yes.
through here. Lots of energy streaming through. Yeah. Yes. Oh.
I feel like I want to leap.
You feel like you want to leap.
I want to leap off that fence post.
You can do anything you want. Anything you want. All right. Okay, I'm here. I'm right here. I'm right here. Yeah. Ah. Wow. So, how does it look after you leap? Just take it in. Got off the fence post, you stood up and you made a big leap. You made a big leap.
It feels good to have my feet on the ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. From stuck to leaping, eh? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That you can do that.
I can do that.
Yes.
I can do that.
Yes. Yes. You can. I can't, but you can. Yes, you can, Heather. You can leap. Yeah. And just say to a few, I can leap.
I can leap. I can leap.
And just let yourself feel it. Just let yourself.
I can leap. I can leap.
And also tell a couple of the people here that you know your boys. Yeah, I know my boys. Yeah. Notice how that is for you. There's, I can leap, and then I know my 3 boys. It's just like, I can leap, and I know my 3 boys. Remember that exercise? When you say, I know my 3 boys, you stay grounded.
Yes.
I know my 3 boys.
I know my 3.
That's right, like that. Tell that to a couple of people. I know my 3 boys. And send all that energy right through your feet into the earth.
I know. I know.
You sure do. Yeah. Yeah. There's going to be layers of feelings about that because people have been challenging that. I'm imagining. All the experts. It's this, it's that. You got to come back to yourself. Know that you know them and that you can leap. To go together. I know my 3 boys and I can leap.
I know my 3 boys, and I can leap.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, you can. Yes, you can leap. What got developed? Awareness, beginning, developed, middle, development. What did she start to integrate? She may not have known it, because we're working a lot on the unconscious way, both conscious and unconscious, a lot of unconscious connections. So what were some of the integrative connections that were made? And what were you aware of as the re-entry? How did we use, she and I, how did we use what we gathered in that session for herself, her own resources, her inner resources, her ability? What happened for her to integrate this and to come back in this environment? Again, this is for you to begin to we're going to do this hundreds of times. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. And you'll start, as you start following it, you'll begin to fill in more and more. Right now, whatever you remember happened is enough and plenty. Whatever caught your fancy, became foreground, is what was important in the session. If all you do is say, these are the high points of the session. I don't know if they belong in the middle, they belong at the end, I don't know where they belong, but here are the high points. That's fine. You do it your way. We'll figure out, okay, which part would the, but you just go and map out the session any way that makes sense to you in your own style, in your own way. Okay? So there's no one way. You'll do it the way you feel it. Okay? Any questions? So close your eyes. And take a moment to appreciate how we all give to each other when we do these sessions, how we share ourselves from a soul, inner soul place. And we share ourselves so that we can learn from each other and respect the integrity of the information and of the feelings and the emotions and the physical sensations, the images. And we're taking all of this into our learning systems and our heartfulness, knowing that we can leap. whenever you want to. Feel stuck, you can leap. And there'll be plenty of leaping in this course. When you feel you know something really well, we'll leap and we'll go to another place and say, oh, here's another way. So with humor and appreciation and hunger for dinner, come back here and gently open your eyes. And we give Heather a big hand.